What's going on, everybody? This is Notorious CWJ bringing you guys some Adamancipator playthroughs. I am going to be showing you guys how my deck plays after bringing you the deck profile. For those of you that have not seen the deck profile, be sure to check that out and let me know what you guys think. Starting off, we'll go right into how the deck plays. So let's shuffle up real quick. And then we'll go right into a couple of test hands. And so I do want to make sure we get a pretty good shuffle going. And let's just see what the deck is going to give us. So we'll start off with our starting 5 cards. So unfortunately, we did draw our Plague Spreader, which hurts our Needle Fiber combo, but it doesn't really stop the way that we play the deck, right? And so, I guess going right into it, we will go ahead and play out the deck. Let's see here. Starting off, we will normal summon an Adamancipator Seeker, and then following it up, let's just make sure that we can still special summon it. No, we cannot. So what we will do is we will use Adamancipator Seeker's effect. Alright. And so based off of what we have here, we'll bring out the Fire Crystal and stack all of these on the bottom of the deck. We will go ahead and synchro. I think that's what we want to do here. Yeah, we want to go ahead and make that synchro. We'll bring out your friend and mine, Reptite. And now that we have our Reptite out, we can go ahead on and use Reptite's effect to mill a few. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Seeing as how we have not I guess got our Kokimeru out yet, we go ahead and bring out that Kokimeru. And put these all back into the deck. We have not used the special summon effect of Adamancipator Seeker, and so we would probably go ahead on and just bring out Adamancipator Seeker just as an extra, way to get out an Adamancipator monster. And so we have two options here. We can go ahead on and use that to synchro up, which I probably would do, or we could go into our Needle Fiber play. Unfortunately, we do have Plague Spreader in our hand, and so that makes things a little complicated when it goes into doing the Needle Fiber play. However, I think that would still be the best move here. Or the second line of play is to go on and sink these, make your Dragite, and then use the Kokimeru Guardian to be able to go into the ties of the Brethren. So those are your two options here for that. Right now, we will go ahead on and let's see what the needle fiber play can get us. And so we will bring out our good old Hakui Fibrax. We'll set it right there. Guess we can scoot it over so just we can keep our graveyard and everything on camera, just to be able to see. And so with Hakui Fibrax being out, we would bring out one of the tuner monsters that we're running. We're never in a shortage of tuners because our deck is chock full of them, right? We would bring out Adamancipator Researcher. Because we have brought out Adamancipator Researcher, we would go ahead on and link off Christian Hakui Fibrax. Basically what this is doing is just letting us get a extra monster to the board. And so we would bring out our Link Cross. Link Cross would give us the 2 tokens. We would sync off one of the tokens with the Adamancipator Researcher, go into Metal Marcher's effect to bring back Researcher. I do believe that we can get Researcher's effect this time. Is it negated? But negated effect, so no, we can't get Researcher's effect. And so what we would do is at this point we would go ahead on and sync off the Metal Marcher with our, where's our guy at, the token to bring out Herald of the Arclight. And now that we have the Herald Arclight as well as the Adamancipator Researcher, we can sync off into our other level 6 guy, which would be our fire guy, our fire dog. So we would bring out Leonite. We would use Leonite's effect. See if we can hit a Adamancipator card. And we do. We have Adamancipator Friends as well as the Adamancipator Researcher. Friends does restrict us at this point from going into any other synchro monsters other than Adamancipator monsters, and so we don't really mind that, honestly. It doesn't hurt us any, so we would probably grab it just to do it. We could skip it and go directly into Researcher, which is also not a problem. Just for time's sake of the video, I'm going to skip going into the Adamancipator Friends and just grab the Researcher. But you could go ahead on and grab that the Adamancipator Friends and do it. We don't care about not being able to go into it because what we're trying to make really is just Adamancipator monsters. We haven't used Researcher's effect, so we would go ahead on and special out the Researcher. At this point, we would use Researcher's effect, milling our top 5 cards. And we hit Kokimeru Overload. And so now that we've hit Overload off of the Adamancipator Researcher, we would sit all of these back on the bottom. We would use the Researcher and the Raptite at this point and go ahead on and synchro those off. We have our choice now between Dragite and Borreload Savage. If you chose to go the route of Adamancipator Friends, what you would do is you would go into the Dragite. If you want the Omni Negate and you didn't go into the Adamancipator Friends, then you can use Borreload Savage. Both are really good. The Spell Trap card Negate is really good to be able to use as well, so neither one really affects your your playthrough, you get the spell or trap negate. That's also really, really good and strong. So both have their, you know, their pluses. So for the sake of being an Adamancipator deck, I'm going to go ahead on and use the Dragite. We'll save Borreload Savage. That's what everybody does. So we're going to go the other route. At this point, since we have established our board, we're going to go on and play Ties of the Brethren, paying 2,000. And because we're paying that 2,000, we will be able to special summon one Fossil Dino Pachycephalos in defense position, as well as a Kokimeru Guardian. This will be our ending board. Fossil Dino will stop your opponent from being able to special summon on their turn. You also have an effect negate, a summon negate. So even though they can't theoretically special summon, they only have a normal summon, and you're able to negate the normal summon that they have. If they're able to somehow get over the Fossil Dino, you have your Fire Dog as well as the Fire Crystal in the graveyard, so you can always special summon back your Fossil Dino. You have Dragite on the board to negate, you know, a spell. So if they have either the Lightning Storm or the Forbidden Droplets, you also have the ability to negate both the Lightning Storm or, you know, the Forbidden Droplets. And if they get rid of any of your monsters, honestly, the Fire Dog is what's going to help you to be able to bring it back and, you know, basically give you that utility. You have your rock in your hand. Right here, you see we still have a Kokimeru Guardian to reveal at the end phase. And so, with all of that being said, this is our ending board. You end on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interruptions for your opponent's turn. One is a floodgate interruption in the form of not being able to special summon. Again, Kokimeru Overload is not letting your opponent summon. You can negate one normal or inherent special summon. You have an effect negate, one Call of the Hunted effect, Call of the Hunted-esque effect, I should say, with Leonite, and then you have a spell or trap negate with Dragite. And so this is our original starting board off of our starting hand, and so we're going to play through it one more time and just see what we are able to end up on in our next test hand. Alright, so that was our first test hand. Let's shuffle up just a bit. Do a little simple cut. And let's look at our starting 5 again. Here, this is a pretty good hand. You can choose which fire crystal you like, if you want the fire one or the water one to start off with, but what I would do here is I would probably go with the fire crystal just to make sure I get it in the graveyard relatively quickly. I would go with the fire crystal. I would come out, special summon out the Adamancipator Seeker. After I had specialed out the Adamancipator Seeker, I know that I'm playing into my Ties of the Brethren. I have basically a Monster Reborn for rock monsters, one of the Adamancipator sign, and we got the water crystal still in hand, which is also a rock. I know that I'm playing into Ties of the Brethren here, so that basically guides my actions when I'm playing through this hand. And so what I would do starting out is I would use Seeker's Effect. It's okay with this kind of hand. It plays through a hand trap. So if they negate Seeker here, we are able to go right into our wind monster, which would allow us to keep basically playing past a hand trap. And so we will play Seeker. We already have the synchro for 6 on the board, so it doesn't matter if they negate it or not. And so we go with Seeker. We're going to assume that Seeker is able to be successful and get off for us. We have the ability to bring out either the Kokimeru supplier or the Waterstone. Because we like pluses, we're going to bring out the Waterstone. We put these cards on the bottom of the deck. The Waterstone gives us another plus to our hand. And unfortunately, we of course drew into the Fossil Dino Pachycephalos. And so that's fine. That's not a deal breaker or anything. The only thing that we would do here is we would have to depend on our Plague Spreader in order to be able to put Fossil Dino back into the deck. Right? We got 2 options. We can put it in the deck, or we would be able to drop it to the graveyard. Those are the 2 ways that you want to go about doing that. And so what we would do here is we would go ahead on and start our Needle Fiber combo. Bring out good old Needle Fiber. Kalki baby. Bring out Halka Fibrax. Search out Plague. After we get out the Plague Spreader, it will allow us to basically sink 6. Go into our Wind guy. And now that we've gone into the Wind guy, we can use the Wind guy's effect. And so you get to choose basically any of the 3 summon, effect, or wind negation. We like effect negate, so we're gonna go with Kokimeru Guardian, just so that we have the insurance that from this point on we really don't have to worry about it. And it also gives us a target for our Ties of the Brethren. And so here basically we'd go right on into it. We would stack these bad babies back on the bottom of the deck. Based off of what we have here, we could go ahead on and put the Fossil Dino back. I would say we would put Fossil Dino back on the top of the deck. We do have the option here to go ahead on and by putting Fossil Dino back on the top of the deck, you also have to bring back Plague Spreader. I was gonna say we do have the option here to go ahead on and use our Link Cross to get those tokens. By using the tokens, we would sync token, use Martial Metal Marcher, bring back the Plague Spreader, or choose not to bring back the Plague Spreader, probably in this situation. No, we'll bring back the Plague Spreader. We will bring back the Plague Spreader. You would sync off with the last token to get out your Herald, and then you would sync off. He would get banished, so I guess we couldn't bring him back with. He would already be banished. We would have had to bring back this guy, and so with Martial Metal Marcher, and you would sync off the Seeker with the Raptite, and that's how you would do this. You would go through Seeker, and then since you already have your since we already have our water monster in the graveyard, we can go ahead on and bring back Borreload Savage. which would bring back our Crystron Hyco Frybrax to give us 2 negates on Borreload Savage. Basically, that would allow us to do exactly what we need to do here. Following that, you got your 2 negates, or a negate, omni negate, effect negate, and then you play Ties of the Brethren from hand. We just put back on the top of our deck Fossil Dino Pachycephalos, and we would bring out either another spell negate or summon negate. So you can choose between Overload or Kokimeru Wall. It just depends on what you feel like your opponent's playing. If you know that they're playing something spell heavy, you would bring out the Wall. If you know that they're playing something that is going to be summon dependent, the Infernoble Knights or something like that, you're going to bring out Overload. I like Overload, so we're going to bring out Overload. And so on your starting turn, you don't end up with you do pay 2,000 life points too, by the way. You don't end up with IP on the board with this time. However, your opponent still can't special summon. You have 2 Omni negates. You can stop a summon as well as stop an effect. This is still a really strong opening board. And for next turn, we have our Adamancipator sign. After searching off of Ties of the Brethren, you would shuffle up your deck, and by being able to bring back that Seeker again next turn with the Adamancipator sign and stack a monster on the top of the deck, we know that we have a follow-up play, right? So assuming that our opponent doesn't have a second, negate or something on the board after they're able to try to clear this board, if they're able to try to clear this board, we have a play following up with Seeker as well as the Dragite that we have in our hand. So all those go into it, and we know after our opponent cuts, we're assuming that we got a fresh cut off of this, we would draw into the Analyzer. So now we're starting off with Analyzer, Dragite, as well as Adamancipator signs. And so we would summon out, special summon, if by some miracle your opponent is able to play past this board. What you would do is you would special summon out that Adamancipator Analyzer, normal summon out your Dragite, and play Adamancipator signs to get into this little guy from grave again, the Seeker. Once you bring back Seeker, you would trigger off Adamancipator Analyzer's effect, and then you have your follow-up plays that you would be able to do running this guy, the Dragite, to basically push for an OTK at that point. And so that's how we follow up. If they are able to break board, turn 2, you always want to try to make Dragite. In my build, we run 2 Dragites, so there's no excuse. If the first one was used instead of the Borreload Savage, it's cheap now, so you should be able to afford it. But if you don't have a Borreload Savage and you bring out Dragite, you do run the Water Crystal, so it should be no problem for you being able to recycle that Dragite and bring it back out again. Well guys, this is it for my test hands. As you can see, it builds very impressive and very strong boards still, and they allow you to still have really good follow-up plays for your next turn. It only takes 1 or 2 cards for the whole deck to pop off again. Like all you need is one of the tuners or Adamancipator sign, and you're back in business again. As a additional bonus, we are running Ties of the Brethren in this build. As you see, it works really good. Fossil Dyna is just wonderful in this deck because not being able to allow your opponent to special summon, you get to have a 15-minute turn and your opponent does not. So that's what we do with the deck. You guys let me know what you guys think, and until the next video, I'll talk to you guys later. Leave me a like if you guys liked it, and let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. All right, peace.